living in a country where the language of the country is not your native language can present interesting and unusual problems. Now, obviously, when you live in a country for a long time, like I have, you get around these problems, you learn your language, etc. But it still leaves some things that you really don't want to do. I don't go to the theatre, for example, because sitting in the theatre for an hour, really having to concentrate on the language when what I'm supposed to be trying to do is enjoy myself, gets a little tiring and boring. So I was very, very pleased to hear when I discovered, a friend of mine told me that there was an English language stand-up comedy night once a month here in Buenos Aires and not very far from where I live. So I decided this might be fun, I'll go along. The first time I went, it was kind of fun. There were 4 acts on. 3 of them were women from Latin America, I think Venezuela, Bolivia, and Argentina, and 1 guy from Scotland. I must say that the women were a lot easier to understand than the guy from Scotland, but that's by the by. The audience were a mixture of people like me, foreigners, English-speaking foreigners who live in Argentina, some tourists, and some people Argentinians there to practice their English or assist with that. It was a fun night. I got to talk to some interesting people that I don't normally see, and so I decided this is good. I think I'll go back again next time. So the following month, this last month, I went along again. Similar kind of audience, but some people had chosen to bring their kids. Unusual. I mean, it's late in the evening, it's a stand-up comedy night, it's in a bar. Maybe the content isn't going to be 100% for kids, but, well, people bring their kids, whatever. Indeed, the first couple of acts, it's not 100% for kids, but, okay, it's not too bad. One of the acts on was an American man, very, very slick, very good, very safe humor. Then came on the final act. Now, this was an Argentinian woman who normally does stand-up comedy in Spanish and had just converted it straight into English. And her content, the content of her set was adult, very adult. There was a long joke about child pornography, which I know doesn't sound exactly the subject for comedy, but it was actually very funny. However, there were kids in the audience. She knew there were kids in the audience. The audience knew there were kids in the audience. The audience were nervous about laughing because of the kids in the audience. She was nervous about telling her very adult jokes about child pornography because of the children in the audience. And it all kind of fell apart. Her delivery was terrible. She wasn't getting the laughs, etc., etc. After the set, I found her in the bar drinking tequilas and getting very, very drunk in order to get over the disastrous show that, through no fault of her own, she just put on. So it was an interesting night out, funny and different. And despite the problems, or maybe because of the problems, it's definitely something I'm going to go do again, and maybe something I will talk about again sometime. Anyway, if you want to hear more stuff, just subscribe and like, and I'll see you next time, okay? Bye.